See, there's a difference between trying to do stuff in excellence and not perfect. Because along the way, my ministry is called Lost in Transition, and I found myself lost in transition to growing up in high school. I was that person that wanted to do what everybody else wanted to do because they were popular, they were getting all the accolades, they were the ones that was, the people liked and stuff like that. And so I wanted to do that. And in the midst of trying to copy off of somebody else, I end up losing myself in the process. A lot of times, people would say, yeah, I smoked, I drank, and that was their testimony, and God brought them out. My testimony is that, yeah, I smoked and I drank real hard like that. But my biggest thing was being lost in transition because the kryptonite to your spiritual life is being lost and not knowing who you are. And so in the midst of me not knowing who I was and not having my own core values, my own identity, I found myself just going with the flow until life hit me like a ton of bricks. And next thing you know, that's when God had to work on me himself. A lot of times, we get hard-headed and God allowed us to go through some stuff. And so God had to really just sit me down and say, hey, this time for me to work on you, just like with when Saul had saw Jesus when he was on the road to Damascus. So my life has pretty much been a up and down roller coaster. But even when it comes to those ups and downs, I've been able to allow God to give me that strength and that wisdom to make it through.
And when you were saying that you had hit a tragedy that really kind of upset, because the tragedy is something that you got two ways. You can either fall into that tragedy, or you can lean on God and try to try to follow him and try to get closer to him to get out of that tragedy.
If you like this episode and you want to hear more, please like and subscribe to get the latest and the greatest from the Johnny Taco Show.